who have used and are still using her products. Now, it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look up at her lineup of products for your hair, whether it's shampoo or treatments or styling aid, whatever your concern is, whether it's dry hair, alopecia, whether your hair type is curly or straight or whatever. Let's say you need some products for styling. Then it doesn't stop there. She also offers products for skin. Body butter, cleansers, masks, and then, hey guys, she got something for us too. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Chateau is full in what she is offering. So cousin, bring Ms. Chateau back up so she can talk to us. That's right. Ms. Chateau, tell us about you.
Well, I've been in Chicago area or United States for the past 38 years.
Woo.
And before then, I learned herbal medicine from my grandmother, which I came here. I've been a cosmetologist. I went to school for cosmetology, for Vidal Sassoon color and hair. I've been a barber. I went to barber school. I've been to advanced classes at Dudley to learn things I didn't know then about the culture of African Americans. So I've been everywhere learning all this combination. And through that, I realized how the human body works. And before I talk to everyone, I tell them, I don't care how much you spend money on the material things. The most important part of you is your body. And that's the only thing you go with, and you have to take good care of it. Because I've seen it all. Being an esthetician for skincare, I've seen the private part of people which are covered with clothing every day. And then I've seen the hair part also, which sometimes be covered with braids or weave or wig or something. So there's a lot of people suffering inwardly, we don't know. And because of that, I turned my attention and went back home to go to herbal school and education and became a herbalist to add it to what I have.
Ms. Chateau, is there anything that you don't know in the barber and beauty industry? I mean, you're a cosmetologist, you're a barber, you even get into skincare as an esthetician. So, I mean, now you just what we call a just well-rounded and educated young lady. So would that be accurate to say that's true about you?
Yes, it is, because when I moved to Oak Street, which was Michigan Avenue in Chicago, I have all walks of life coming to me, any skin color, any hair color. So I decided I have to be able to learn anything for whoever walks into my salon, be able to know what is going on. And I have a gift of what God has given me, that as soon as you walk into my salon and I see you, I know what you've been doing to the skin or what you've been doing to the hair. I have clients going to dermatologists, and sometimes I ask them, I said, did you tell them what the abuse you've been abusing the hair, or you just went for a test? What they don't know what you're doing. So good enough, I really can tell. And from experience too, I know the wrong thing we do. If you go to the doctor, why do you have to do your hair at home, thinking you can do it better, which doesn't sometimes make sense, but that's what people think they can do it. That's why everybody has a field of profession. And I tell everybody, do it, because the hair, the human being wears out. When you are young, it will grow and shed. and thin out. It will grow and shed and thin out. As your body is growing, the hair is growing. It's getting weaker and weaker from abuse and all the things we've been doing to it. So then every little thing, it goes off or it turns off. I know this is a busy country. Sometimes if you have family, you have to take care of the girls, you have to take care of yourself, get up early and go to work and take the children. So it's a lot of pressure and stress. So you just do anything to your hair and just go. But I tell people, I said, the children will go, everybody will go. It will be just you to take care of your own self. So we have to be mindful of ourselves sometimes.
Okay. So now, Macheto, when and why did you decide to go into business for yourself?
That's a good question. My father had me when he was in his 60s, so I was an old man's child. So by the time I hit high school, he has become weak. So then I have to tell myself, how am I going to, because it's not like this country, you have free education, free food, do that. Originally from Ghana, West Africa, and I know I have a potential in me. I have something in me that my spirit tells me I have to keep on going. So I was lucky during high school. Normally after school, I'll go and work somewhere in the farm or somewhere to make extra money to buy my things and go to the boarding house. Because back home, we live in the boarding house to go to school. But I was lucky enough to get somebody in the city who owns a bookshop. And I became the storekeeper there, which I learned a lot of books from Macmillan and books, other books. So later on, as I was ready to finish high school and I started going to college, she decided to let me go to London to learn about the manufacturing of the books and all that from Macmillan. And that's how the money I got to go to stay in the hotel, I stayed with my sister. And then when I was coming, I bought shampoo and dryers and all that, thinking I can open my own business. And that's how I started.
Okay, okay. From an early age and from a desire to learn, you then determined that your best course of action at that point is to go ahead on and start some kind of business. So what was the actual first kind of business that you started?
That's what I did. When I went back from London, I got a dryer and shampoo and other things. So I hired this girl who called herself a stylist or something, but I didn't know how to do hair. So one day, this Caucasian guy from American Embassy walked into my shop for haircut. And I didn't know how to cut it, but I cut it anyway. Then after that, she gave me $5 tip. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know what I did. And that particular thing really gave me the option to go back to school to learn how to do hair and come back to Ghana. So I went to London to go to a beauty school at Finsbury Park, and then came back home to open the salon. And then as I was doing that, then going to the bookshop, I decided to go to another school in Canada at Vidal Sassoon to learn how to do color and haircut and all that. But there was something which was pushing me to come to United States, because like everything is made in USA, everything made in USA. So I thought I wasn't fully accomplished for what I was looking for. And that's why I came here to complete my imagination. And that's how I came here to do. And I've seen a lot, quite a lot, and experience.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Now, what was the first product that you started with as you began to sell products?
I started with the skincare because what happened was I had a baby that time, and my son started having some rashes from the camping. She went camping. We went to 4 dermatologists. Nobody was able to treat Teddy's skin. And it was getting worse and worse, going to everywhere of his body. So I told myself, I have to fly back to Ghana. So I flew back to Ghana and show it to my grandmother, and they make something for me. Within 3 weeks when I came, Teddy body was gone. Everything was clean up. So I started giving it to some of my clients with eczema and psoriasis and all that. So everybody keep coming. Can you give me some more of your cream? Can you give me some more of it? Started cleaning everybody's clean body. So one day, one of my stylists was late. She didn't even come to work, and I was frustrated. So another lady walked in there to get some cream, and she said, "Chateau, what is wrong? You look so sad." I said, "I'm so tired of this stylist. You know how we are. They work at home, then they pretend they're doing something. They don't want to come to work." So she said, "Why don't you go and make your own product the way you've been giving to us free? Why don't you start your own product?" And I was on Oak Street. And Oak Street has all this Merrimeglin and Avida, all those kind of big companies there. And I'm like, how am I going to compete with these people? So one day I told myself, if I can compete with them, I have to be a disruptor. Of herbalist, of herbal medicine. So I went back home and studied for about 6 weeks and came back and started doing samples of the skincare and going to Black Expo and started giving it free. So one day I gave it to free, and then a client told me, "Chateau, if you give people free things, they don't use it. So start selling it." So I started selling it, and I have a lady with severe acne. It's like the acute acne. So I gave it to her. She didn't even want to get it. She said, "I'm fine." I said, "You are not. I can help you." So I gave it to her. And within 3 weeks, she called me back and said that, "Wow, your product works." When she came, I opened my mouth and I said, "Wow, is that your skin?" She said, "Yeah, your product works." So she told me how she was using step by step. And I started creating another kit for that. So that's how I started. I started with the skincare way back before I started with the hair care, because I knew the skin I seen in this country is the similar skin I see with people back home with minor skin problems, which normally is different from the Caucasian. So I see the problem. And then also I learned that majority of the skin problem in this country comes from junk food and sugar, like chips and fries and sugary things and cookies and cakes, create that kind of junkiness inside and come out. What is inside come out. So I started advising, doing classes, telling people how to skip eating those kind of things, because what you like will kill you. So I started advising them how to minimize, because anytime you put something in your mouth and you are a baby, that sweetness, that taste creates a memory in your brain cells. And as soon as you see it, it clicks some sensation in your brain and you feel like craving for it. So it never stops erasing from your memory. And that's how people they don't like water, they like sugar, they like pop, they like all those things. It's the creation of a babyhood. When you were a baby, how you were treated. And it's very important. So I tell people...
Go ahead, Ms. Chateau. Please finish.
I tell people I have a lot of people who have diabetes or who has balding at the edge of the hair, and then they say, "Oh, it's a hereditary. Oh, it's in my family." I say, "Yes, I understand you have diabetes in your family. Grandmother cooked the same food, your mother cooked the same food, and you are cooking the same food. So if you skip eating that thing that kills you, maybe you will skip yourself from diabetes. If you stop putting too much ponytails and gels, maybe you skip yourself from balding at the edges and thinning, because grandmother or your mother didn't have time. She rushing to go to work. She put your hair in a ponytail for you to go to work, for her to have time. So you kept doing the same thing. And also you go to school with children who have straight hair and all that. So you also wanted to pull it back and look good and all that. So there's so many things that affect us in future through our own cultural habit of the country you live in. Makes a big difference.
It certainly does. So now, let me make sure I understand this. So my mama and her mama and her mama and all of the mamas and big mamas, they're responsible for me being hooked on that sugar. So is that why I like so much sweet tea?
Definitely, definitely. I'm telling you, whatever you were eating at home when you were a baby, like me, I wasn't used to sugar. Maybe I have candy maybe once a year or something. I'm one person. I don't even like cookies. I eat candy bar maybe once every year or 2 years. I don't even feel like eating cookies or anything because I wasn't born with it. So my taste, you see the tongue, the human tongue, which has minute skin on it, is the worst thing on earth on human body. It brings you problems. It puts you into trouble. It kills you from eating things you're not supposed to eat.
Oh my goodness.
So whatever they gave you when you were a baby, all of a sudden stick to your memory and you like it. And it is what it is. So it's up to you to tell yourself. So if you go to the doctor and they tell you you're ready to die out of cancer, so stop eating sugar or stop smoking, won't you do that? So I tell people, I say, stop doing it. Tell yourself it will kill you. So you better stop eating it. But it's easier said than done. So I can't say too much.
I understand. You know, I tell you, Ms. Chateau, you've given us a wealth of knowledge for us to stand from our culture, first of all, and then, of course, from our diet, what brings about the necessity to come and see a lady like you who can help address those problems that we face. So now, let me begin now to ask these questions that I'm sure that